Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you once again for joining me here on my desk. And another day, another Transformers review. This time is Dead End. And I have been sorely looking towards this guy because I can finally have Menasor complete. Again, this is part of the Transformers Legacy line. I got this via Big Bad Toy Store. So haven't opened it yet. Literally just got it in today. Um, Here's the packaging. Here's the back. Here's the bot mode, card mode. You guys could see him there standing in all his glory. Reminds me a lot of the Combiner Wars figure. And here's, of course, the awesome artwork. I love that action running pose they have this guy in. And here's the face. So we'll open them up and continue on with the video. Okay, so finally got Dead End out of the box here and ready to show you guys what this guy is all about. So you do get instructions in the box, obviously with this guy, like you do with all Transformers. A couple of interesting steps there in the transformation. You do get two guns, which look very similar to the guns that came with Dragstrip. At least Dragstrip also got two guns in black and purple, but they are slightly different. The guns on Dragstrip were, the body were yellow, and the points here that are purple on this one were black. So, but you do get two of them, and I do like them. There's some nice detailing, and he can hold the guns really well. So you do get these two guns. Now, onto the figure itself. A bit of a mixed bag for me, simply because of the proportions. I do like the figure. I'm glad that I finally can get all my Stunticons in one place and put Menasor together. The paint itself, I think it's great. Again, very G1. The head there, you guys could see, is very well done. I love the gray chest with the black and the Autobot, sorry, the Decepticon insignia there. And the red's really well done as well. I don't mind the backpack so much. I think it flans pretty good. It's not too bad. I think where I have some issues with this figure is pretty much these panels here on the side, sort of just hanging there. Reminds me a lot of the Combiner Wars figure or the older figures, which they could have found a better way of perhaps hiding these or putting them somewhere else. Another thing that bugs me is the non-existent feet on this guy. I think the proportions of the bottom of his legs to his knee are a little too high, but I don't think that would have bothered me had they made the feet maybe just a little more protrude a bit more out, because right now, I don't know, I'm not really too crazy about the feet, the proportions here of the lower body on the figure. But I think other than that, I don't really have any other major issues. I mean, most of the car part is sort of just hanging out in the back. But I will say, I think out of all of the legacy Stunticons, this is probably my least favorite. It's not a terrible figure, but I think in comparison to the others and the way they look, this is my sort of least favorite. You do get some good articulation like you do. I mean, this is a newer figure, so you can turn his head fully around. You get the arms here, elbows. The hands do not move. They're kind of fixed in place in there. You can turn him fully around if that's what you want to do. He can kick almost 90-degree. And you do get some I guess ankle articulation here, so you can pose him in a couple of ways, I think, and he'll look nice. It's just the proportions on the legs really throw me off, but the fact that the paint's done really well is a plus here. Very G1. As far as the transformation, it's not that involved. I mean, most of the car here is hanging out on the back. But you can start off pretty much here on the top. And the one thing you could do is pretty much pull this whole section out. And this allows you to push this. Oh, see what happened? It just came out. But this allows you to pop that back in, to push this whole section back. And first thing we'll do is move these arms out, loosen them. That should allow you to then push this back. You could take this and essentially move it back until it sits in place like that. And this is one thing of the transformation that I thought was really cool is you then take this section and flip it up. But before we do that, you can take these sections of the doors and flip them to the side, and then take the wheels and also flip them down, which is really cool. You could do the same thing here. Take this panel, fold it like that, and then take this wheel and do that. So once you've done that, you're essentially then going to take these two sections right here. They're going to hinge up. Reminds me kind of drag strips transformation. He did something similar as well. But you're going to take these sections and join them together so that it looks like that. And then this will allow you to bring the arms in, right? But before we do that, we're going to unclip this and just move the back essentially like that. And then we can take these sections of the arms and sort of push them in place so that they look like that. And as you guys can see, the car's coming into view here. So then you could take this section here, and it's on a hinge here, and just kind of push it down and tab it in, and you kind of have the car there. These laughable feet here, you're just going to push them out like that, and you are going to then have open these sections here. So undo that. They're tabbed in here on the knee. So once you do that, you can then put the two of these together in here. You're going to tab them in. You're going to tab the legs together there like that. You're going to join them. There's also make sure that they tab in everywhere here. Once that's in, you're essentially then going to fold the legs in, and you'll see that there's tabs in there. And you just got to make sure you get them in place in there. And you can start closing the feet here. Just make sure that the torso is straight. And there you go. Once all that's in, that's pretty much the car mode there. And it's kind of done. You just kind of got to push things into place there. The back, there's a section here by the legs that doesn't quite like to tab in too well. So that's a bit disappointing. But the car mode is serviceable, in all honesty. It's not too bad. I believe this was supposed to be some kind of Porsche, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, but I guess maybe I don't like the color too much, but it's not so bad again. But this is probably, I will say, the weakest of this whole line. But the car mode side, it's okay. I love the painted headlights. I like the fact that unlike the, for example, Breakdown and Wild Rider, there's no, the center sections here are painted the same color as the rest of the rim. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, but there is dead end in his vehicle mode, and he does kind of roll in a way. But there you go. And then we'll do some vehicle comparisons. Okay, guys, so car comparison. There he is. I decided to put his guns in the back there. That's an option you could do for storage. So there's the Legacy dead end, and here he is next to his Combiner Wars counterpart. I will say, while I prefer the look of this one because it's very G1, I do think the alt mode on this one is a bit better, at least from my perspective. Obviously, it's a whole different car. This looks more like a McLaren, the Combiner Wars one, whereas obviously this is more meant to emulate the G1, which I believe was a Porsche. But there you go. Just want to show them there. The Combiner Wars one is a bit chunkier and wider, but they're about the same size in length. Color, I guess, it's trying to emulate the same style. It's a big Decepticon insignia on this one. But there you go. Just want to show them there together so you could see them. I did still have the breakdown from Combiner Wars there, so you guys can see them there side by side together. Combiner Wars, Legacy. There you go. And then here he is next to Breakdown from Legacy. That's his mold mate. And there, well, here's the other mold mate anyway. So here's all three of them together. I think they look really nice. They're in older vehicle modes. Here he is next to Dragstrip. So there's Dragstrip in car mode. So that's, you guys can see the comparison there. And lastly, of course, gotta have the leader. Here he is next to Motormaster. So about the same length, just about, but obviously this is a truck, so he's much chunkier. I think once you get into vehicle modes, the scale starts to go out the window, in all honesty. It doesn't really bother me too much, but there you go. And of course, if you want to see them all together, side by side, you can also do that. So here you go. Here's all the Legacy Stunticons in their alt modes, all nice, ready to roll out on the Autobots and cause some damage. And then we'll do some robot comparisons and close out the video. Okay, guys, so some robot comparisons as we close the video. Here is the Legacy Dead End with his guns there standing in all his glory. First comparison I want to do was to the Combiner Wars. Again, this is the US version of this toy to show there the similarities and differences. I prefer the size of this one in bot mode. Again, I think that was going across all these figures. I wish the Legacy ones had been slightly taller, at least to match the height of the Combiner Wars ones. Obviously, the paint apps and the deco I prefer on these guys. This is more G1 accurate. I guess one of the disappointments with this figure is I guess I don't mind the backpack so much, considering the older figure also has it. But I really do think that these legs could have been done better. Right now, he seems like he doesn't have any feet. I mean, they do give you some ankle articulation, but yeah, it doesn't look that well aesthetically. They took pretty much the same route as here the Combiner Wars figure, because the Combiner Wars figure is very similar. But I think where this one does it a little better is the proportions of the knee all the way down to the leg, right? It looks a little better this way, whereas here it almost looks like he's wearing like thigh-high boots in this case. So yeah, I kind of do slightly prefer the proportions of this guy versus him. Now, the paint apps on this guy are way better. I do prefer the gray and the black chest there with the Decepticon sign, and the head. It's obviously well done when you compare it to something like the Combiner Wars here on my right. And also, you can see the chest is more red. This is the US version. I know they made, I believe, versions in Japan and Takara that were a bit more color accurate, but comparing the two, the color app is done way better on the new one on the Legacy. And then you guys could see it's almost very similar in look and design. You still have the panels here hanging off the arms, which do bother me. You have the same backpack, although the backpack on the Legacy version is a little more compact. But there you go. Almost similar in design there. But yeah, there you go. You can decide for yourself which one you like better. It's the Legacy and there's the Combiner Wars. Moving on, you know what? Here's another one from Combiner Wars. Here is the breakdown. So if you want to see the comparison there. There you go. There's breakdown from Combiner Wars. Then we'll compare him to Dragstrip. Here's Dragstrip from Legacy. Again, I think the sizing definitely works there for that guy. And you know what? We'll have him stand next to Wild Rider. So here he is next to Wild Rider. There you go. So you can see those two together. And then let's put him next to, this is the Legacy breakdown. So there you go. I think, again, that scale works really great. And then lastly, the Motormaster. So here is Motormaster next to Dead End. And again, I think that scale works out well. And I also have Megatron here. So you guys can see the size difference. I think that scale works really well. There you go. And then again, because Tarn is permanently stuck on my desk because I love this figure, here he is next to Tarn and Motormaster. And then obviously the last shot, I will be doing a separate video of all these guys in their combined mode. I'm so happy to finally have all these Stunticons essentially. And here's a leader, Motormaster, all together. I can finally form my Menasor. I'll do a separate video about that. I think overall though, Dead End, while not a bad figure, it's probably one of my least favorite. I do appreciate the color accuracy to the G1 model. But I really think these legs could have been done way better. I think if the legs had been better proportion and you actually had feet here, it would have worked out better for this figure. It's not bad by any means, but for me specifically, I wanted the whole set in this Legacy line, and now I can form out Menasor, so that's definitely a plus for me. But anyway, if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave a comment, maybe watch one of my other videos. But thank you so much for spending your very valuable time with me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Be nice to each other. And I will see you next time.